Yeah, I want to talk about a game from Roxley called Brass Lancashire. This is a game from Martin Wallace. This is actually a very, very old game that just got updated by Roxley. Roxley being games from like Santorini, Steampunk Rally. And I played it this past weekend. It's phenomenal. The upgraded visuals, the illustration that this game has made in this 2018 version is superb. And the gameplay, I think, as well. I haven't played the old version, but the game plays so well. Basically, you're tycoons from like the 1770s, and what you're trying to do is you're basically building all these like coal and iron plants and cotton, and you're trying to sell them to the market. And you're getting all these types of money, which again, they're having these clay tokens, or no, the clay. Why am I having a complete blank?
They're like clay, like a poker chip type
Yeah,
things, right?
yeah, exactly. And it's such a wonderful game. There's like 5 different actions you can take. There's like 2 phases. Everyone has a hand of cards. What you can play is basically from that cards. There's other actions that you can take, such as like taking out a loan, selling the cotton plants that you send out there, and building the different coal and mine stuff. Yeah, it's such a great game. It's like rank 33 on like the best board games on PGG. Please check it out. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Brass Lancashire.
Now,
Lancashire.
Lancashire? I don't know. Do you have history with other train games, or is this one of the first train games you've played?
No, I mean, like, what, Ticket to Ride? Is that a train game?
Yeah, that's a train game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play too many of them, but Brass is better. I like it more. I definitely would play Brass.
Okay, now is this the original remake, or is this like the new version that they made with kind of the same principles?
There's 2 versions. There's Lancashire and there's Birmingham. Lancashire is, I think, a little bit more of a streamline, but stays true to the original. Birmingham is like that updated, like, this is now, there's a lot more to it. So, I traded for a copy. I really want to get back onto the table. There's a lot here. There was a lot of really great, interesting decisions to be made in that game. And, phenomenal game. Phenomenal.
Does the version you got, was it the Kickstarter version, or does the base version come with those like clay tokens?
Just Deluxe, I think, is out there in the wild right now. So
I need it. I know I was so close to backing it. Did you have any history, Isaac, with train games or this game at all?
Really, I have played Brass, but it's been so long I could not even tell you how the rules functioned. And I know I've played way more train games. Like, when I first started getting into board gaming, I had my 2 friends, Martha and Lucas, and they were obsessed with most Euros you can possibly ever think of back that existed 5 years ago. And a lot of them had to do with trains. So I'm sure I played a lot of train games. Of course, I played Ticket to Ride as well. But yeah, I can't really recall too many of them. There's been so many games that I've played at this point, and I have a terrible memory. It's absolutely terrible memory, unfortunately. And
so when did you get into the hobby?
I got into the hobby about 8 years ago now.
Okay.
8.5, maybe almost 9. Yeah.
What's the first game that stood out to you that like made you realize how great this hobby is?
So the first 2 games, these are the 2 that will always stick out in my mind the most, would be Puerto Rico and Dominion. Because that was
classics.
just when Dominion was like getting like super hot, and Puerto Rico had been around for a while, I'm sure. And man, like it just blew my mind. Like, all I had known about board games was Monopoly, Monopoly and Sorry, and those games that nobody ever wanted to play with me or finish in my family. So, like, to sit down and play with people that were really passionate about this hobby and also see what was possible from it. Those 2 games really stuck out in my mind as just like, wow, this is so interesting. I love these mechanics. And you guys can even see reflections of some of those mechanics in my first game, City Remnants.
Yeah.
Ooh, like what? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Examples of that.
For sure. A lot of the action selection, types of mechanics, and things like just the Euro-based mechanics. A lot of it is inspiration from Puerto Rico. And Dominion's obviously a deck builder, and you're building the gangs as your deck in City of Remnants as well. So there was definitely inspiration from those two games. And that's why they'll always stick out in my memory the most, because they were just mechanics that I was in love with and I wanted to see meld together.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I love train games. I think my favorite one right now is Railways of the World. It's very easy to get into. It's very accessible, like I was saying, but it's a lot of fun, and I've had a hard time finding a game that kind of competes with that. I'm not a fan of Ticket to Ride. I tried it, honestly, I've tried it once and it was like 2008, so I probably should try it again. But it's been years since I've touched that, but I love Railways. Is that a game that either of you have played at all?
No.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so this is an early Eagle Griffin game, I believe, and it's just giant map, and you're building train routes to go from city to city, and you're delivering goods. It's great. I highly recommend it. But with Brass, I've wanted to check that one out for a while. So if I can get my hands on a deluxe edition, I might do it. Are they available for sale, or is there just like the retail version now?
It's expensive. It's really expensive. I would say that if you can find just a regular retail copy, go for it. Even still, okay. I mean, the upgraded components are awesome, but I wanted to say too that the people who did the design and I think illustration is a group called Mr. Cuddington. It's a husband-wife combo, and so they actually did the artwork for the Grimm's Forest.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's so striking. Like, it has this great dark tone to it, but it's still striking. I didn't know that. That's cool.
If you Google them, you can look at their profile or their portfolio, and they have a lot of great stuff under their portfolio. I'm absolutely in love with this really dark intensity of illustration and design. It works really well. It's awesome. It's really great. Again, that's Brass Lancashire by Martin Wallace, published by Roxley.
I love what Roxy does. That's awesome.